this guy stopped me at a stoplight. He was like, hey, Goggins, why am I not getting better? I'm a big-time goal setter. I run half Ironmans. I run half marathons. I go for that new promotion at work. Why am I not getting better? I asked him a question. Do you have fear of not reaching those goals? He said no. Okay, that's your problem. You're setting goals you know you can reach. And when you do that, that fear, that insecurity, that doubt, that's where you grow. He's not getting that. You must always set goals that you think you cannot achieve. And in there you get better. Stay hard.
You know what? Being accepted is one thing that killed me. And you have to learn, what do you want in your life? We have so much influence coming at us that we are so lost. We don't know what we want to do because we don't spend enough time with ourselves. We have to learn to shut off a phone, shut off a computer, shut off a TV. And it's okay to sit in a room by yourself in a chair and just think about you, where I want to be, where do I see myself tomorrow, the next year from that. And it takes a lot of self-discipline to be able to do that nowadays because you want to be so attached to everything. You want to be so caught up with the world. The world's moving too fast. The world's moving so fast that you're trying to keep up to the point where you lose yourself in the world. So you have to take that time and go to that dark place in your mind and discover who you are.
Was there a time in your past where you realized that you've overcome your old self and really truly felt transformed? Or do you feel like it's an endless process that you're still building towards?
It's an endless process. Endless process. All that I went through in my life to get here today, it is tattooed. It is tattooed in my brain. Every day I wake up, I am constantly battling that person that is like, man, you know, back in the day, this happened to you, man. You know, like, you got called nigger so many times, and your dad beat the out of you, man, and you know, you couldn't read, and this dad going junior year. All these things start to creep up, even now where you're at today. Every day, you're having to constantly battle. It's not as bad as it used to be by any means, but that person's still there. That person always lives. And that's the point about you have to continue to always challenge yourself every day.
I used to not be patient at all. My life made me so anxious. My anxiety was so high from my fight or flight muscle. That's what that psoas is. That psoas is your fight or flight muscle. Once again, please study it. Once I started stretching out, so you know I talked about reflection, how a lot of us, we don't take those small moments and like, my God, I lost 3 pounds this week. We're gonna lose 106 pounds in 1 week. Having my mind and my body being the way it was, so much anxiety, through stretching out, I am very calm now. So now, yes, I'm very patient. I have to be very patient because I'm going to fail a lot more in life because my goals and my standards of life are very high. With that being said, I will fail a lot more. With that being said, I better be very patient because I will succeed. But I have to be patient to figure out the equation to all of this. And like I tell people sometimes, what changed my life, one thing that changed my life was I was a big believer, or I used to love watching Rocky. Rocky won, round 14, Rocky won. Rocky is knocked down the 14th round. Apollo's beating the shit out of Rocky. Apollo turns around with his hands up in the air, thinks he finally knocked out this gladiator. And what I love about that scene is that I saw this movie at one of the worst times in my life growing up as a kid. And what I saw was this guy getting up when even his own trainer was saying stay down. That scene is about 2 minutes and 13 seconds long. And all I'm trying to give people, that 2 minutes and 13 seconds changed my mentality, how I look at things. Hopefully through the story you all hear, hopefully through my book, I will provide you that 2 minutes and 13 seconds to change your life. Not saying life is bad, but we can always be better. So we're always looking for that 2 minutes and 13 seconds to just to be better, to find more. And you never know what kind of form it's going to come in. It comes in all kinds of forms. It may come in a movie. It may come in just one person saying the dumbest thing to you. You say, my God, that made the most sense. So always be open-minded to that 2 minutes and 13 seconds that could change your life.
Growing up, my dad did a good job of dehumanizing me. He didn't care much how I thought or how I felt. So when I saw the military uniform when I was growing up, I thought to myself, if I can get that uniform on, I would find honor in wearing the uniform. So not only do I want to be in the military, I want to be in special ops. But I realized to be in special ops, you gotta know how to swim. So I got a how-to book on swimming. First page was easy. Float. So went to the pool, tried to float. I sank right down to the bottom. I realized I was negative buoyant as hell. The more I failed, the more my father's words would creep into my mind about how I'm not good enough. All this other he said to dehumanize me. As time went on, I started realizing the more I didn't quit, the more self-respect I gained. And the power was all mine. In life, it's important to do one thing. Many people will try to dehumanize you. It's up to you to find self-respect and dignity in yourself. You don't need a uniform to have honor. You need to have pride in yourself, dignity. Stay hard.
So this morning, I was getting ready to go for a run with a few guys. So I was taking my shirt off, and they saw my stretch marks. And one guy asked me, where the f*** you get those stretch marks from? So I had to share with this guy what all this scarring was. That was 297 pounds, insecure, just a mind. So there's a lot of scars we have on our bodies that people can see, and they tell a story. But a lot of us have scars in our brains about lives, bad childhoods, bad adulthood, whatever going through. Those scars in your brain we don't talk about, we hide. Scarring is proof that our past is real. But the one thing we do is we allow it to control our lives. And we get off the log. Well, it's time to get back on the log and not have those scars define the rest of your life. Sometimes you gotta fight pain with pain. Stay hard.
I believe in quiet. There's no growth outside of quiet. The world's too noisy. Your mind needs quiet for you to find who you are. People ask, what's my purpose? Why am I here? You're not gonna find it nowadays unless you lock yourself in a quiet room in your mind and find it. It's too noisy. For me, I could be in a busy street in New York City, horns honking, and I'm walking around with like nothing. It's me and myself in a quiet spot. And when you are constantly reflecting on who you are, where you've been, the journey you've gone through, the journey you can continue going through, the feeling's always there. You don't allow the world to pull you so fast that you forget. You don't allow yourself to pull you so fast that you forget. It's not about staying in that moment. It's about you want to get to the point where that feeling follows you like breathing. It becomes a part of your life, part of your DNA. But it's made, like these calluses on my hands right now, they're made.
Yeah.
They are now on my brain. This is now a part of me. It's a daily process, a part of me. And how I go back to a $7 a month place all the time is now I go out and I dig fire line. I'm a wildland firefighter. I don't need to do it. I'm a 43-year-old man. I work with 27-year-old kids.
Yeah.
I'm a rookie. Every day I'm a rookie, it feels like. And
Why do you do it?
that's why I do it, man. There's a story I'm gonna tell you about why I do it. So I have a good living now, for me, where I'm at in my life. I was out on a fire in Colorado, and we were digging fire line on this like 50%, like it was like on the side of a daggone mountain.
Yeah.
And we're trying to keep the fire from moving. We're digging this fire line 14 inches, or my fault, 18 inches wide, 3 miles long. 12 of us digging. And it is the hardest work. You make $12 an hour, okay? Nothing. You set up your shop. Like when you're done digging, you just pretty much lay down, you go to sleep, and you get up and you dig some more. So not only are you digging, you're cutting down trees. It's hard work. But the moral story is I'm 43. Don't need to do it at all. This is why I do it.
You're making money.
I'm making money. I have a good life. I don't need to do it. And everybody asks me why I do it. This is why. This 21-year-old kid is out there. And he wanted a pair of running shoes. So he wanted a pair of running shoes. 60, 70, 100 bucks to whatever. You know, easy for us. Running shoes. He looked up at the mountain that we had been on for days digging this fire line. And he said that'd take me 5 or 6 hours of work to buy those shoes. He said I'm not gonna buy them. It's the perspective of life. That perspective of life right there, that is the value that we lose. When things start to come so easy in life, it's the perspective that 21-year-old had. He looked up at that mountain and thought, he looked at his hands, he looked at the amount of hours of pulling that Pulaski, that tool, and raking that ground, and then cutting those trees and moving them, and that hours of work. He looked at his feet and said, these old shoes would do. It's that perspective in life that we lose. And that story to most people may not mean anything. It's that story I always want to have in my life. You cannot lose perspective of where you've come in life.